Welcome, everybody. Obviously, we're very pleased with our win against Northwestern State University. We give Coach Laird and his staff and his players credit for coming out and fighting very hard at the beginning of the football game. I thought he had an excellent game plan. But I want to give our team credit for fighting the 60 minutes. That's what we went to halftime and talked about that we're going to fight for 60 minutes, and nobody panicked. Pleased with our coaching staff. We stuck to the plan. We made some adjustments, especially on defense. Give credit to Coach Aranda. Came back and played tighter coverage, and I thought we played one heck of a second half. We were very pleased to see guys catch the ball. Usually didn't catch the ball, and Derek Dillon and Stephon Sullivan. We need to get them the ball. They're good players, along with the great players that we have. Pleased to see the returns, the punt returns with Derek Stanley and Trey Palmer. Great scheme by Coach Mack, but those guys make some plays, so we're very pleased with our return game, and we hope to get better at it. Cade had the one miss. We talked to him about it. Obviously had to wait a little while in the rush to start the play. He needs to get back, take time out, reset his thoughts, and we need to train him to do that. But other than that, we're very good in the special teams. When we looked at the film, we didn't play as good as some spots that we wanted to, especially on the offensive line and defensive line. In some spots we didn't. We got to get fixed, and some fundamental stuff that we got to get fixed, so we get to tell the truth money today to get those things fixed. And looking forward to that. Looking forward to going to our first SEC game on the road against Vanderbilt at 11 o'clock. We're going to be ready to play. We're going to go to bed early on Friday night. Tennessee and Nashville has been a great recruiting area for us, and will continue to be a great recruiting area for us. Derek Mason has a lot of respect for myself. I think he's an excellent football coach. I knew him as at Stanford. We go to the SEC coaching meetings. He's one of the best guys there. He's easy to talk to. He's a good guy. He's very personal, and I wish him the very best. I think he's an excellent coach. On offense, they've gone to the spread. They have a big-time running back in Keyshawn Vaughn, a running back. He's probably going to be an NFL player. And also Jared Pinkney, tight end. Those two guys will play in the NFL. And Lipscomb, who's from New Orleans, is a good receiver for them. On defense, they're 4-2-5. They're giving up 36 points per game. And Coach Mason's a defensive guy. I know he's had 2 weeks to prepare. I know he's going to have an excellent defensive game plan against us. We're looking forward to getting on the road. We're looking forward to fixing ourselves this week. There's a lot of things to fix. There's a lot of things to be positive. I'm very pleased with the play of Joe Burrow. Joe made a couple of throws out there that you just go, wow. Did you turn back the film time and time again? So how did he do that? But tremendous athlete, tremendous touch, tremendous will to win. Very pleased with the way Steve Ensminger and Joe Brady has called in our offense. Obviously, lights out right now on offense, throwing the football. We got to get better running the football. We got to get better up front on defense and stopping the run and playing out gaps. And we look forward to this week. Any questions?
Coach, you kind of touched upon it, but how do you avoid kind of a sleepy start with that early time? And this may be one of the smaller stadiums you go into. It won't be the big atmosphere, maybe.
Yeah. Well, we're going to work hard on it. I promise you that. We're going to go to bed early at 9 o'clock. We're going to get up. We have a call-out meeting at 7 o'clock. Wake them up. We're going through the same itinerary that we did against Louisville. So we have our work cut out for us to get the guys going, get them going early in the morning. We'll get it done.
And down here in front, do you have any update on Todd Harris, who got hurt on Saturday night?
Yeah, Todd's going to be out for a year, and will not be back with us this year. And hopefully we can use him as a redshirt. No, we will use this year as a redshirt year for him. Unfortunate, it was an unfortunate accident. He just landed on the ground wrong.
Well, I guess to go off that then, I mean, how do you imagine you guys go about kind of replacing him then?
Well, Jacoby Stevens is going to have to play a lot back there.
You usually play 3 safeties a good amount, right?
Yeah, that's right. Jacoby Stevens is going to play back there. We have to wait to see as the week goes who else can fit back there.
Hey Ed, one of the things that I heard in the postgame from the players was that they weren't necessarily pleased with it either. They talked about a standard that they're trying to set and that they're trying to play to. How rewarding as a coaching staff is it to hear that, but then Is it because they understand how good they can be that they're
Yeah.
trying to reach this level?
We talked about, at the beginning of the year, setting the LSU standard of performance, the way we practice and the way we play. And obviously it's very high. I'll give you an example. On today, Tell the Truth Monday, we had on offense, one of the things we must and will improve is that we were only 8 out of 9 in the red zone scoring. And I said, well, isn't that asking a little much? I said, well, no, coach, we're supposed to be 9 out of 9. So setting the LSU standard of performance is very high. Our players have said it, our coaches have said it, so we still have a ways to go in all areas. And look out when we reach that standard of performance in all areas, I think we can be pretty good.
Ed, you're right. After the game, you talked about getting Chase and Hines reps at backup center.
Yeah.
Has anyone else taken snaps before or played center in high school that might be an option behind?
No, that's it. It'll be Chase on. It'll be Chase on for us, to my knowledge.
Yeah, Ed, right here. Do you have an update on Ed Ingram yet?
Yeah, we heard very positive news. We have nothing official. I expect to know something in the near future, the next couple of days. And when I do hear something official, I'll better let you guys go officially. But everything we hear will be very positive, and we should hear something in the next couple of days.
As far as you know, has he been working out? I mean, if he comes back, I mean,
Yes.
how quickly can he assimilate?
Yes, he's been through some workouts. Obviously, he's been working out his own. He's going through some acclimatization stuff with helmets on and stuff like that. So when he does come back, we'll be able to clear him and he'll be ready to play.
And then, any updates on, Rashad Lawrence or Glenn Logan?
Yeah, I think they'll be ready.
Not ready for this week? Is there any kind of timeline with those guys?
Not this week for sure. I don't think.
And you're 3-0 and you talk about things you have to work on. Is this kind of as a coach, you kind of like this situation a little bit? You got things to get their attention,
Yeah.
and you're having success? Just talk about that scenario you find yourself in.
Yeah, it's always good to be able to win and look at the things that you must improve on. The guys see it. We had some experienced guys up front that didn't play very well. And they know it. I talked to them about it today, so they're gonna be hungrier this week, must improve. Again, the LSU standard of performance is very high. They understand it. I think they see it before I do sometimes, and which is good.
Ed, over here, couple of things. The pass rush, do you think if it doesn't improve, that's the kind of thing that can catch up with you in these games? And two, I know you've leaned on Clyde Edwards-Helaire a bunch. Is it just an experience factor, or, like at Texas, he had the lion's share of the carries? Can you kind of explain what your thinking is there?
It's kind of funny you mentioned that. Coach Robinson kind of gives me a State of the Union, John Robinson, every Monday morning. He's got about 8 things for me. And they're very insightful, and I respect them, and I'm happy that I have them there. And most of them are very positive, but today it was like, hey, we need to work those backs in quicker in significant roles, and he's right. I didn't want to put him in the Texas game because we had to go, I felt like we had to score every time, and I don't want to fumble. And I'm not saying they would have fumbled, but I've trusted that Clyde can do it. So, but we need to get these guys in more significant reps. We need to get them in a rotation that they're playing in the first quarter, the second quarter, so they can be more prepared to win. In the heat of the battle, we can trust them to make the right play. The pass rush will cost us. We're experimenting with different things. We did a better job of mixing in our blitzes. We're gonna have to blitz. We're not ready to use a 4-man rush now with the guys that we have. We will use it, but how effective we can be, we have to get better at it. So I think that you're gonna see more blitzes, more creative ways to get pass rush, and I think you saw that last Saturday.
Hey, down here, you said Saturday that it would take to watch film to kind of diagnose the zone and coverage issues there. Just
Yeah.
after looking at it there, what's kind of your
Yes.
assessment on some of the changes?
Yeah, there's more or less the thing. I said the pass rush wasn't there. On the touchdown, we had a missed assignment, not a missed alignment, just a missed assignment. They had a little punch route. On some other plays, there was still some technique stuff that we played wrong. We were playing too far off in the first half. We played a little bit tighter. Our guys broke on the ball, they batted some balls down, they broke some balls up. Should've got a couple of picks on a couple of balls. One of the things that I did mention that we disappointed in, we even in the turnover ratio, that's not where we wanna be. We're -1 in the turnover ratio this week. We need to get more picks. We need to get more turnovers. We had a turnover last game and a turnover the game before, and we're not getting enough turnovers.
Coach, how pleased were you with Stephon Sullivan's production on Saturday, and after that, is he gonna see increased usage from here on out?
Yeah, we wanna get Steph on the ball, and, he deserves it, he's a good player. We talked about it after the Texas game, and, you can expect to see him, some at tight end, some at receiver, have some, specific plays that he's gonna catch the ball, so we're pleased with it.
Ed, what is it that makes Derek Stingley so effective as a punt returner, and how long after he got to campus did y'all decide to use him in that role? How did he insert himself so quickly in that way?
He has vision, he has confidence, he's able to see the whole field, and, again, you know, we told him, said, Derek, wherever you see green grass, go. It's not like you gotta go left or right. You don't want to limit him into where he can go, because you never know when you catch the puck, what's gonna be open, the right, the left, or in the middle. So we ask our guys to block a certain way, let him find the green grass and let him go, and let him make plays. One thing that I do want him to do is protect the ball. Every once in a while, it gets out a little bit, we need to keep an eye on time.
Ed up here, Joe Burrow said something at the game was interesting, that it's almost like the pass sets up the run now, which is kind of foreign to most people. I know this offense is totally different, you prepared us for us all summer on that. You had 488 passing, 122 rushing.
Yeah.
Do you like, is there a 50-50 mix so far in these first 3 games? Do you like where it is, but
Yeah.
where it's going, rush and pass?
Well, I'd like to be 50-50 as far as run pass, not the yardage, as far as the calls, 50% run, 50% pass. We have to be balanced. We're gonna have, at some point in time, they're gonna stop our passing game. We have to run the football. But what's happening is we're so good at passing the football, it's kinda hard not to call the passing plays when they're wide open. So that's what you see. We had some gap schemes that we put in, were not very effective. We got beat at the line of scrimmage. And for that, we're gonna show our team that today, that we had some one-on-ones on the offensive line that got beat. We got some one-on-ones on our defensive line that their offensive line beat them, and that should not happen. So those are some things we need to improve on.
Hey, right here, with Sadiq kind of being in and out of the lineup, how impressed have you been with Dare Rosenthal and Fedora Traylor just kind of filling in?
Very impressed, very impressed. Those guys have answered the bell. Dare has made tremendous improvement from moving from defense to offense every week. He's able to go in there and he didn't give up a sack. He's doing a great job. I'm really impressed with Fedora Traylor, can play right tackle, can play guard. You're gonna see him in the mix more. And if we do get Ed Orgeron back and Sadiq back, we should be very solid up front.
Hey, Coach, over here. Anything you want to say about the news on Drew Brees, and maybe reflect on maybe that being a reminder for you guys in terms of getting Brennan some playing time?
First of all, when I heard it, I felt bad. I felt bad for him, his family, and the Saints in the state of Louisiana, because I know how much he means to all of us. And I was talking to some quarterback recruits last night, and to remind them that how much that they mean to their team. Not in a selfish or boastful way, but the quarterback is the man, and especially when he's a great one. So still have to remind Joe to run out of bounds. He ain't gonna run out of bounds. We'll have to remind him to do it. And Joe means a lot to our football team. Joe is becoming an elite quarterback, and I've been a part of 3 Heisman Trophy winners: Gino Torretta, Carson Palmer, and Matt Leinart. And I'm starting to see a lot of similarities, or maybe some things even better than I remember those guys doing. So he can become that quarterback. Still has a ways to go, but he's gonna have to protect himself.
You talking about Joe, and you mentioned some of those wow throws he was making. I mean, it seems like some of the throws he's making this year are just throws that I don't think we saw him able to make last year. I mean, how have you seen him just progress just purely as a passer?
Yeah, you know, last year when he came in, I think he was unsure of the offense, so he wasn't letting the ball go as quick as he wanted to. He's improved his arm strength. He's in better condition this year. think that he's able to extend plays with his feet, as you saw last week, and that's when he's really dangerous. And then again, the receivers that we have are not dropping the football. They're catching everything in the catch rates that you could possibly imagine. So I think it's a combination of all those things.
Coach, over here, when you evaluate everything you're doing now, do you look and through the prism of, hey, we're close to knocking on the door to where we want to be, and what do you think you have to do to get there? Because that's gonna kind of reveal itself,
Yeah.
you know, in October and November.
Yeah, we talked about that last night, without saying it. You know, you wanna keep it one game at a time. When you really look at your roster, you're really looking at evaluating your personnel, you're really saying, hey, what can we do here, what can we do there, what can we do to get better, pressing on, keep on pressing to get better and better and better, so we can make improvement throughout the year. I think that a good football team, I know a good football team improves every week, and we gotta take the next step this week to get where we wanna go. Obviously, we know what's coming down the road. There'll be some very strong opponents coming down the road, and they, you know, we run into one in Vanderbilt. We ran into one in Northwestern State for the first half. We have to overcome that. But we cannot do the things that we did against Northwestern State in the first half and get to where we want to go. We have to improve.
Coach, you're right. You alluded to your relationship or knowing Derek Mason. Would you elaborate a little bit maybe on when you were at SC, was at Stanford, memorable games, things you remember about him?
Yeah, they had great defenses. I mean, they were an attack defense. I do believe that they led the league in sacks every year. Turnovers, they were ferocious. They were very multiple. They ran out of a 3-4. They were very hard to block, very creative. Those are the things I remember about them. Tough. Go ahead.
After the game, you said that you weren't panicked, the team wasn't panicked, because you believe you have this trust in this offense that you guys are in every game. Has that had to trickle down to the way you coach, or your coaches coach the team? Do you guys have to reset a mindset, I guess, as far as maybe we don't need to press as hard as we might have in the past?
You know, I leave the offense up to Steve and Joe for the most part. I put my 2 cents in every once in a while, but, you know, hey, why is this not working? What are we doing? But I do feel that the press that I'm feeling is from the defensive side, and we need to get better. And I know we will. And there's some things, we gotta get some guys healthy, we gotta get Killebrew healthy. We gotta stop making some mistakes that we're making. So the press that I'm feeling is to get the defense up to speed with the offense so we can get to where we wanna go.
Coach, going back for a second, just talking about how you have to get Stephon Sullivan more involved, just how satisfying is it that you have that challenge with your offense to getting your running backs and your tight ends and your wide receivers, you know, equal opportunity?
Yeah. Well, that's what we always want, to have an offense that creates space, put our playmakers in space, and let them make plays. And have the quarterback that can make the decisions according to the coverage, or have the coach who can look over and he can call the right play to put the ball in our guys' hands at the right spot. When you watch our film, and I know you guys all do, I see your little coaching points in your synopsis. I like that stuff. But there's a lot of times you see guys open, which is a sign of good coaching and good route running. So we have a combination of all those things, and at LSU, you deserve the very best. And I do believe that we're giving our guys the very best available.
Coach, in the preseason, you said we've got to get pressure with 4. That's a big, I know when you blitz, you don't want to do that because you expose yourself to stuff. Is that disappointing for you? I mean,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It really is. And we have some guys hurt. We're not getting where we want to go yet. I'm not saying that we can't get there, but we're not where we need to be.
And you mentioned the pass rush earlier. Patrick Queen seems like he's kind of up in the middle on some of those green team packages. I mean, what's his role in that, and what have you seen from him this year?
You know, that's a package that Dave has come up with to dictate certain protections. And once we dictate those certain protections, we can do a lot of things out of that. You're gonna see that more. Sometimes we're sending them, sometimes we're not. But I think that when you walk him up to the line of scrimmage, you dictate how they're gonna block you. Then Dave can run his blitz patterns from there.
And he was one of those guys that was in a position battle throughout there. I mean, now he's on the field for y'all. I mean, what have you seen from Queen this year?
Excellent character, you know, some guys, when they don't get it their way, went into the transfer portal, they wanna go. This guy came in my office and said, what can I do to get better? I'm gonna play, I'm gonna fight this thing out. Great example of that, is stick around, hey, listen, hey, we got a plan for you, son, it's gonna happen, and now he's one of our best players on our team.
Coach Orgeron back up here. We know in the summer Burrow talked about scoring the 40, 50, 60 points. Y'all hit all those numbers. With recruiting, and I know you talked about leading up to the Texas game, is there any story you can relay about some of the recruits, their excitement level now that they've seen it, not only 1 week against Georgia Southern, but big time opponents there? I mean, 19 kids have caught a pass this year for you. That broke a school record.
Yeah. So here's me texting a skilled player, you ready? Hey, this is Coach O, can you call me? Bring, hello. As opposed to, hey, this is Coach O, can you call me? No answer. There's high interest, and guys are being noticed, you know, especially being on ESPN game day, it's being a national TV game like that, and having a quarterback do what he's doing, there's high interest across the country in our offense, and come and play for the Tigers. There was always high interest. Now that we're playing great offense, there's even high interest.
Coach, right here in the front. If Joe Burrow's doing well in the game, you don't want to make a change, but is there a concerted effort to get Miles Brennan some reps in the event something would happen? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, packages and stuff.
Yeah. We practice him, we share some reps. We go 1s versus 2s, which is our first offense against their second defense. And Joe gets 7 reps and Miles gets 3, so we're training him. And Miles gets all the second team reps. Miles is 8 or 9. And, you know, we're working on gaining weight, he's getting better. We feel that if something would happen with Joe, that Miles will do fine. Is he Joe yet? No. But does he have a chance to be that good? We think he does.
Coach, you got time for 2 more. Ed?
Coach, I know it's only September or whatever it is, but you mentioned the Heisman earlier. Do you think Joe is definitely in that conversation? And what would it take to him to be a super serious contender to get
Yeah.
that?
Well, we all know the answer is, yes, he is, and he's that good. You have to win the big game. I think that you have to win the big game, you have to take us to the SEC championship and take us to the championship. And, not to say that you can't win it without it, but if you do those things, you got a good chance of winning. And, who said we can do that? I don't know, but I've been a part of 3 national championship teams, and that was a big part of those guys winning the Heisman, I guarantee you that.
Ed, you mentioned needing to get Caleb on healthy. What's his status heading into the league?
Questionable. Hopefully we can have him for this game, and if he is ready to play, we're gonna play him. He's questionable, he's not able to practice today, we'll see it towards the end of the week.
What about Thad Moss, Jamar Chase, Divinity?
They'll be ready to play.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys, have a good day.